In this tutorial, we will be demonstrating how easy it is to automate applications and scripts within your virtual desktop environment using the VDI ToolKit. Why automate applications and scripts? First, in non-persistent environments, login times can sometimes be longer. This can be a frustration for users. If users always open a set of applications on initial login, it could help by automating those applications to start without the user having to manually open each application. Another reason might be to run scripts to clean up application or Windows logs to help ensure when there is an issue in retrieving logs that only the most relevant logs are available, making it easier to sort through. Lastly, another reason might be to use scripts to close applications that are tightly integrated with hardware that cannot handle virtual desktop disconnects. This could be an application that requires a hardware dongle for licensing and enters an unrecoverable state on disconnect when the hardware is no longer present. Another example could be like in the healthcare setting where dictation is commonly used. Not all dictation software handles the microphone disappearing on session disconnect gracefully. Please note, this is just a few examples to give you some ideas. So when can you trigger applications and scripts to execute? Well, you can trigger on initial connection, on reconnect, on disconnect, and on session end. How the VDI ToolKit increases flexibility. It uses a robust rules engine that fully understands the concept of a client and many other variables within your virtual desktop environment, such as user, virtual desktop hostname, and client, to name a few. It also does not impact login times. Up next, we will demonstrate automating applications and scripts using the VDI ToolKit. Okay, so let's get started. So what we want to do first is we'll want to go ahead and open up the management console. So I'll go ahead and do that. I have it running on a virtual desktop. We'll go ahead and open it. All right, once this is open, we'll go ahead and expand it. Okay, so first what we need to do is we need to add a rule item for the application or scripts that we want to automate. So we'll go ahead and navigate to Rules, Rule Items, and App Automation. And we'll go ahead and add one. I'm just going to create one. I'm going to do it for Notepad just to demonstrate so you can get the idea. Okay, for application type here, I'm choosing executable, but here we can pick what type of script if we wanted to run a script. So I'm going to go ahead and choose executable file path. Okay, just a note on the executable file path, there may be times or situations where that needs to be something that's dynamic, such as in the user's profile or something like that. So what we have is you can actually sub in environment variables like you see I'm doing right here with system root. You can actually do special folder variables, and you can do VDI session variables. So if you want more details on that, please watch the video tutorial on VDI session variables, special folder variables, and for environment variables. Okay, let's see. We can also add arguments, and we can set to yes or no for start if already running. No means that if it's already running, it will abort and not actually start the application. Please note that only works with applications, not scripts. And we can also check to use the local system account. That will not work with GUI-based applications. So for this, we're going to select no. So we'll go ahead and hit add. And afterwards, we can do a search, and we can see that we have our rule item for app automation created. So now what we need to do is we need to create a rule and actually link this to that rule. So what we'll do is we'll navigate to Rules, Session State Rules, and we will go to App Automation. Okay, as we can see, we have no rules currently, so we'll go ahead and create a rule. So we gave it a name and description. Next, what we need to do is we need to pick a session state. So if you remember earlier how we were talking about, these are the 4 states that you can trigger these events. Now, just so you know, you can multi-select. So if you wanted it to be triggered on every one of these events, 2 of these events, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and just set this one to connected and just run it on connected. Next, we have the global rule. So a global rule will actually apply to all sessions regardless. I'm not going to check that. I'm just going to assign it for a particular user just to demonstrate that. So I'll go ahead and hit add. And once I hit add, you'll see that the rule edit window opened and we have these qualifiers here. With a global rule, the rule edit window would also open, but you would not see the qualifiers. For more information on qualifiers and how that works with rules, please watch the video tutorial on rules. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and I'll just add any qualifier, and I'm going to add the user that I'm going to be logging in with. And that's this VDI ToolKit user. So we have that. I'm going to go to configuration, and we can see our app automation item, our rule item, and I'm going to go ahead and add that as well here. Once this is done, the rule is set up and configured. I'll go ahead and hit update. And then we can do a search and we can see that our rule's been created. So now we'll want to go ahead and test that rule. And so to do that, we'll go ahead and minimize this and we will log into a virtual desktop session. Okay, once logged into the virtual desktop session, you can see it automatically ran Notepad for us. So this could be a nice way to be able to start up applications so users don't have to go around folders or find shortcuts or anything like that and open up all these applications, especially if the login times are a little bit extended such that like you're in a non-persistent environment. So it's always generating a new profile whenever they log in. Once logged in, though, we can also go and verify that rule applied by going to the systray icon for the client and then navigating to rules, and we can expand session state change rules, and we can see we have an app automation rule. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and expand the app automation rules, and we'll see our rule here, and if I highlight my mouse over it, I can get details about the rule. That could be good if you're trying to hunt down or track why a rule is applying to somebody when you don't think it should be. We'll go ahead and expand this as well, and you'll see the application is an executable. If it was a script, it would show the script or whatnot, and then what the application is. If we highlight over that, we can get more details about that app automation rule item as well. Well, that pretty much sums it up, and I hope you found this tutorial useful, and thank you.